Hi everyone, I'm Eve Jardine Young, the principal of Cheltenham Ladies College, and I'm here to take on the SoGlos 10 Questions Challenge. So Cheltenham Ladies College is a 168-year-old girls' school for day and boarding pupils. We are located right in the middle of Cheltenham, 36-acre estate dispersed around the centre of this beautiful Regency town. We have 11 to 18 age range, and we offer International Baccalaureate as well as A-levels in the sixth form as an optional academic curriculum. So you have just celebrated 10 years as principal of Cheltenham Ladies College. What are some of the biggest developments you've seen at the college over the past decade? So it's been a huge privilege to be here for as long as 10 years. I have to say it's flown by. But during that time, we have made probably a once-in-a-generation level of investment in upgrade of our physical estate. We've refurbished a lot of the boarding accommodation, upgraded classrooms, and probably the most visible improvement to the school is the Health and Fitness Centre, which is also open to members of the public to join. Relating to probably the curriculum and the pupils' experiences, in the last 10 years we've really established our expertise in the teaching of International Baccalaureate in sixth form and introduced an engineering, enterprise and technology faculty for all pupils in Key Stage 3. How has the pandemic most impacted life at CLC? Wow, well, it's still impacting us, isn't it? All of us, I'm quite sure. This has been probably the most profound challenge that we've faced in the last 10 years. The biggest effect, I think, for us has been to galvanise us to a far greater level of digital capability, both in terms of the students and the staff. People who may not have thought of themselves as digital experts have made colossal strides. We've probably made 5 years progress in about 2 months. So how will CLC continue to provide pioneering girls' education for a new generation of students? With enthusiasm, that's the first thing. I think we have the privilege now of working at a time when we're teaching probably the best informed generation of young people that have ever lived. When I was growing up, I'm 49 now, so I grew up I was at school in the 1980s largely, and at university in the 90s. You know, actually finding information was the hallmark of our time. Now we've almost got the reverse problem. We've got so much information at the click of a finger, you know, that it's an information overload, and it's working out in the white noise of all of that information how to navigate through it without becoming overwhelmed, how to be discerning in the space in terms of things like authenticity of sources, or, you know, impartiality and accuracy, authenticity of material, credibility of what you might be reading online, and probably how to balance the relationship you have with technology. For me, being a pioneering educational school is about looking at the challenges that we believe will come, recognising we don't have all of the answers, we probably only have a fraction of the answers, and then building capability, capacity and courage. What are the main differences in teaching the current Generation Z or Z? I have a huge amount of time for Generation Z. I think they are resilient, they are incredibly thoughtful and have a sense of their collective identity and their shared issues that unite them, really, the interdependence of them in the world. So if we think about, for example, issues like climate change, inclusion and sort of anti-racism and LGBTQ, people of different faiths, if we think of the protected characteristics under the Equal Opportunities Act, these are issues that matter a great deal to them. They are different because I think they challenge us more, they question more, they're better informed. They probably need us to believe in them because they also have a lot of challenges regarding mental health, pressure, growing up as a young person with social media and feeling like you're in a goldfish bowl. I believe they are just as capable, idealistic, hopeful, and filled with potential as any generation that has preceded them. And it's most importantly, we need to continue to talk to them and talk together rather than talk at each other. I think that's the way forward. Cheltenham Ladies College attracts students from across the world. How do you ensure your girls feel part of the Cheltenham community? Great question. I think our location helps. But I think what that question is getting at is the more important dimension, I think, which is about interacting with and feeling a sense of belonging to the town rather than just the school. We're very, very privileged to be part of really sort of two particular vehicles that really help us to do that in different ways. The first is the Community Links programme that we have. Through that programme, we are connected to well over 20 local organisations partners in Cheltenham. In a typical week, girls collectively would probably contribute well over 1,000 hours of voluntary service to the town through that partnership network of 20 or so organisations. The second one is a newer relationship, and that is through our membership of the Cheltenham Education Partnership. You have just introduced flexible boarding options. Do you expect this to be popular with day girls? James, I really hope so. That's the short answer. We've introduced this flexibility really in response to the demand from the day families that we have and the day families who make inquiries about possibly enrolling their daughter. And this is a sort of multi-stranded flexibility. So if you were a day family and you wanted to book in for the odd night of boarding, sometimes people live a little way out or they have busy family lives where this would just be really helpful to the family. That we are piloting that option now this year for the first time on a modest scale, just to see what is really working best for people. So what is your favourite ever memory since joining CLC? Probably the most significant and indelible memory that I have is when we were fortunate enough in 2014 to have Malala come and speak in college as our keynote speaker at the end of the year. She spoke absolutely from the heart for 25 minutes with only a single scrappy piece of paper with some bullet points on in front of her. She held 1,000 of us absolutely captivated with the sincerity and the passion and the eloquence that she spoke with. She brought the house down with a standing ovation from the girls at the end. The electrifying memory of that moment and the inspiration that she gave them about what true courage really looks like, about what recovery looks like, and about why education, equality of opportunity for women in the world really matters. It's not a Victorian issue, it's a 21st century issue. It might not be in the UK, but it is elsewhere, and that they are part of the solution to that if they choose to be. That's the big memory I'll take with me. If you could give one piece of advice to your teenage self, what would it be? Don't sweat the small stuff, because done is better than perfect. Ultimately, people remember less about what you say and more about how you make them feel. What do you enjoy doing when you're not working? Most of it revolves around spending time with the people that I really love, but I particularly find that food for the soul features in what I find myself taking most pleasure in. Often it's with those loved ones, but not always. It's sometimes the company of oneself is where you get to do some good reflection about your life and about what really matters in the end. So what is your favourite thing about Gloucestershire? I've loved seeing more of Gloucestershire as a Deputy Lord Lieutenant for the county. For the last few years, I've had the great privilege of being part of that team. And it has afforded me the opportunity to meet people and go to places I might not otherwise have been able to do. There's also a wonderful, I feel a very emerging sense of the art of the possible. People who are very imaginative, very creative, wanting to work collaboratively together. And I would say what I'm finding is that there are people with real skills, but a sense of wanting to share those with others and make Gloucestershire their home.